What is
Well
up,
then.
internet land? Hey, Phil, how you doing, brother? I'm
Hey.
trying to look at the other camera. I'm trying to make eye contact with the other camera because that's what I'm used to. And I forget that camera is charging because it's stupid. And this camera is the camera to look to tonight. Hey, good evening, brother.
Yeah, my confidence monitor's over there. So that's how it goes. Yeah, I got a lot of banging going on right on the other side of the studio wall. I don't know. Did you hear that?
No. What are you banging on?
I guess they're doing some roof repair here.
Oh, roof
That's what I
repair on a
hear.
Friday night. That sounds great.
Yeah.
That sounds great. So I joined I'm going to see if I can get thrown out of a new Facebook group here really quickly. So let's see if I can get this. I am a part of the Prepper Collective now.
Is that the one in North?
I don't know.
We got a message to the page of somebody.
Yeah, they were like
asking for something, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" "Oh, I'm kicking you out." I was like,
"Okay,
all right, bye."
Yeah, I know that happened.
Whatever.
That happened. Man, I'm so conditioned to look at the other camera. Oh my goodness. All right, man. Well, let's talk a little bit about current event stuff while we're getting this thing shared out.
We should. That's what I was working on, is the sharing.
Let's talk small dumb stuff, and then we'll move up to the big cool stuff. All
small
right?
dumb stuff. Actor Kirk Cameron discusses pro-life culture at a March for Life.
Oh.
Yeah. I just could care less what he does anymore.
Who is that? Who discusses
Kirk Cameron.
You know, okay, Kirk Cameron.
I know he's a good dude.
He is a good dude. You know, I just recently watched his story of us that he did for PragerU. Pretty freaking cool, man.
Is it like a really biography?
It was just like it was like a longer interview. It was like an hour. I mean, I say watch it. I listened to it while I drove through Gotham City yesterday.
Okay.
And I got to go deliver. So we've talked about before, one of the things that we put into place with our church is we started raising chickens last year. And so we have a chicken tractor that we drag around our yard, and the chickens get fresh grass every day and fresh bugs, and they get to live like chickens, right? Instead of just in boxes. So anyway, and then we have butcher parties where we invite the neighbors to come over and learn how to butcher a chicken. And well, the last batch of chickens, half of them, so roughly 23 or 24 of them was donated to some missionaries that serve the Oregon State football and volleyball teams. And
okay.
they
for
out of
people
their,
who don't know, that's Eugene, right?
No, that's Corvallis. That's Corvallis. Oregon. You're thinking of the Ducks. So we're Beaver fans. And so anyway, he was a former. My friend Quinn was a former D1 football player for the Beavers, and then he is now their chaplain, and he does some other help with the team, and he's a missionary to Oregon State campus. Anyway, rad dude. So one of the things they do to serve kids is they make home cooked meals, and they invite college kids over to their home to eat food and talk about Jesus. And they pay for that out of their own pocket. They have to fundraise for that out of their own budget. So we said chaplains, man. That's how we roll. Everything gets paid for out of our own pocket. Except I'll tell you about that in a minute. I did get something cool.
Yeah.
But
no, I mean,
but anyway,
the organization itself like nearly never pays for anything. They don't want to conflict. They don't want to be supporting anything. Yeah.
Right. But anyway, we got to deliver a bunch of chickens to them so that they can cook homemade meals for college students. And I am very, very happy to be a part of that. And then it was awesome because one of the kids in my church also needed a ride home from Corvallis to be in his brother's wedding. And it all worked out really, really nicely. So I was able to skirt the edge of Gotham City. Didn't even have to put my foot down on its tainted pavement, and went to Oregon State. I will say, interesting thing about Oregon State right now, absolutely hysterical. You have to really watch the sidewalks. You have to really watch the crosswalks at Oregon State, because they have these little R2-D2 coolers. They're about the size of our Pelican cases. They have these little R2-D2 coolers with 8 wheels, 4 on each side, that are robots, and they drive around campus delivering food. They're coolers that you can order food from one of the campus cafeterias or nearby restaurants. They drop it into the cooler, shut it, and then it trucks on over. And if anybody opens the cooler before its destination, then it alerts that it's been tampered with. And so yeah, there are all these. It felt like a Star Wars episode because there were these little droids just everywhere, hundreds of them, all over campus, all the time. It was actually really comical and kind of fun. So yeah, we got to have a great day of serving yesterday. So I thought that was.
I can't wait to hear stories of how those get abused. They're going to be so.
Oh,
creative.
you know it's going to happen. You know it's going to happen. Somebody's going to do something nefarious and put something really bad in one, and it'll pull up next to a dorm, and it'll pull up next to a dorm and go pop.
Yeah, hack them.
You know? Hack them. Yeah, you know what they'll do is they'll hack them to where somebody will drive them all out onto the football field into the shape of a big giant syringe. You know, kind of like those sheep in England. Did you see the sheep in England? The guy trained his sheep to. He does it every Christmas. He puts Christmas lights on them and trains them to do funny patterns, you know, like Christmas trees, and he does these big moving. Yeah. He trained them all to look like a big syringe to tell people to go get vaccinated. These are real live sheep.
Or people who get vaccinated.
But please don't mistake that the irony was not missed on me, that sheep formed a big vaccination, a big syringe and a needle. I just about fell apart. It was great. So
good time for a hey, we're not anti-vaccination, we're anti-vaccination mandates.
There you go. That's exactly right. We that's exactly who we are. We're pro medical freedom. That's what we are. I don't want to be against anything I don't have to be against. We're pro medical freedom. So there's that. So
I'm against liberalism personally. There's that.
I think I would. I'm against leftism. See, you and I are different. I actually do draw a distinction there. So, but that's okay. It's all right. No big deal. I'm trying to get this thing shared, man. We're just in this pre-show deal. Okay, ooh, what just happened?
I don't know.
I just heard your headphones or something. It was weird.
Really?
Anyway. Yep. So what news dost thou bring to the table?
Pick it up. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. There was word that federal court has overturned mandatory Fauci ouchies for civil service workers.
That's what I heard. That's pretty exciting.
Feds cannot mandate that in their employment. No word on whether there's a who was it? Scalito? No, who was the turncoat? Kavanaugh.
Kavanaugh? No.
Yeah, no word if there's a Kavanaugh clause or not. Requiring it for medical workers.
Oh no, they upheld the mandatory for medical workers. That happened.
That's what we mean, and it was because of Kavanaugh's, from what I recall.
Probably, yeah, that sounds right.
He turncoat and sided with the liberals. Because he always has been one.
Yeah, that's always a good time. So we've got that. And then
what else? There was a couple other things that happened. I just
Ghislaine Maxwell.
I don't know anything about her.
She is absolutely she's guilty. She is guilty. We know for a fact she is toast. But
we all knew, but it's been proven in court, you know.
Oh yeah. We all knew it, but now it's been proven, and she no longer has any reason to remain silent. And evidently, there are many.
I heard she was going to name names. Yeah,
supposedly yes.
Yeah, the prince just being one of them. He basically said, "Well, I was dating her at the time, so it's all her fault."
Right.
And then his mommy took away all his money.
Right.
Except not all of it, just a couple million. He still has millions. He just can't throw his titles around anymore.
Yeah, he's been stripped of his titles, which is good. He shouldn't have titles.
Yeah, so that takes away like all his responsibility now. He has nothing, no role whatsoever. And that means a little bit of a loss of his allowance, but he's still pretty much a multi-millionaire.
Right.
Yeah, I don't see the Ghislaine stuff. I'm just reading through some websites here. I pretty much only look at Daily Wire anymore.
Right. Fire away. There was a big one on Daily Wire just a minute ago, right?
I guess this insider training of well, the big one's the one that I said. Unless there's something different, the one about the Fauci mandate of civil workers, civil servants. I
Right.
thought that was a big deal. That affects quite a few people I know.
Yeah. Well, that's good news. I mean, it's there's that. Did you see that that Eminem has gone woke? That's pretty exciting. The M&Ms will now be
They're going to be tan.
the girl M&M is going to stand for empowerment. The red M&M is going to finally get in touch with his real self.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
not making this up. This is not Babylon B, man. This is for real.
Anymore, you can't tell.
Anymore, you can't tell. Exactly.
I've been catching little waves about the insider trading stuff. So, I mean, we know Pelosi's been guilty of this. A lot of politicians make a crap ton of money because they're privy to inside information and they
Correct.
get fed tips. If you'll scratch my back, I'll give you this stock tip. And if they follow it, it's essentially insider trading, right? So now they've all made millions and they're getting ready to retire. Pelosi being one of them. She's already announced that she's retiring. Now they're coming out publicly against doing everything that she does. The weird thing being, it's already against the law.
Right. It's already against the law. And
we just need more rules because the law wasn't enough, to keep them from doing it before, and they did it anyway. And none of them were held accountable.
Dr. F got beat up pretty bad in front of the Senate the other day for the exact same thing. They were like, hey, you need to, we'd like for you to release how you spent your $460,000 salary last year. We'd like to see what your investments are. And he was like, they're public record. They're available. You've been misinformed. And then it turned out that they weren't public record. And it turned out that
he just lies.
He just doesn't know how to. I don't think I honestly at this point I don't think he
knows how to tell the truth. Yeah,
I don't think he knows how to tell the truth anymore. And so that's been pretty awesome. That's been pretty awesome.
Here's something that just dropped. Here's a headline right out of Oregon.
Ooh,
today. Oregon schools launched an LGBT alphabet soup club for 4th and 5th graders. No parental consent required.
Yep. Well,
no
if you're not pulling
consent.
Your kids, if you're not pulling
Raleigh
your kids from
Hills Elementary School in Beaverton.
Oh yeah, that doesn't shock me at all.
Nothing shocking. The club will have conversations about identity, gender, equal rights, and social issues, exploring the LGBTQ plus minus KY history and activism. And I only added like 2 letters.
KY. I was like,
as well as take advocate positions of change in our school and community.
Well, in the words of the great theologian Dave Chappelle, don't anger the alphabet people.
He made a lot of money doing it, though.
Yeah, he did. He really did.
Yeah, he did.
He really did. So let's see here. Looks like we're getting closer and closer to an official announcement.
Every single student wrote their name down and signed up for the club. Boy, somebody's looking into that teacher. I'd like to know what that teacher's name is.
I'd love to know what that teacher's name is. Somebody tell me in the comment section what.
Somebody find out.
It looks like. Did you hear the news about Large Asian Nation? I won't say their word. I won't say their name. They don't deserve to be spoken of in that regard. But Large Asian Nation is repoing an airport. They are repoing an airport in Uganda. And it
That's not
actually
good.
turns out that there is
So there must be a new
there's
development. That's
billions of dollars of development across Africa.
yeah.
Basically, there was only one tiny little country left, and I don't even know the name of it. It's one I never even heard of, and that is still acknowledging Taiwan as a country, and all the other countries in Africa have received billions of dollars of infrastructure work, roads, bridges, dams, and almost all
Hearts
of
and
the
minds right
African
there.
countries are they're very nearly about to default on all of those loans, and China is going to basically repossess the infrastructure of their countries. China could end up owning over half of Africa with the stroke of a pen.
They know how to play the game.
I didn't mean to say their name. I meant to say large Asian nation.
Now, I've been
They don't
hearing about
deserve
this
to
for
be.
a couple of years.
Yep. But
I
it's
think the
like
real news is that we
it's
all
real.
know and nobody's doing anything about it.
That's
And the
exactly
reality is,
right.
what exactly are we supposed to do about it? I mean, there are sovereign nations. They got their freedom. A lot of them had to fight for it, right? To get away
Yep.
from, just like us, to get away
Yep.
from the monarchy of England,
Yep.
the empire of oppression.
Yep.
Um, and it's like somebody forgot to give them a basic financing class, I guess.
Right. Absolutely.
Um, don't borrow money from loan sharks.
Right.
And a lot of people in our
Hey,
country don't understand that either. But
so if you're just tuning into the show right now, we're in what we call our current events section, our pre-show kind of thing. We do this for about a half an hour, and then we jump into our book study. We'll tell you a little bit more about that after we cue the music for the main sesh. But just want to say welcome if you're watching. Maybe for the first time, drop us a comment in the comment section. Maybe hit that likety-like button or something for us, or share this thing out to some friends that you'd like to see them get prepared. We're talking about current events because, hey, it might be worth paying attention to the crazy shenanigans that China is taking on, because there are really smart people in the world that recognize. In fact, I watched an interview with Sebastian Gorka today, and like him or love the fact that he worked for the T-Man's administration. The dude's brilliant. He spent his entire career teaching at war colleges, teaching at strategic, counterterrorism and all kinds of awesome places. He's wrote piles of books. He's still a teacher. He's a news contributor. I think he's actually got his own news channel now on the internet. But he's like, look, if you don't see China as the number one enemy and the number one threat to American sovereignty, then you are asleep. And we've only got a couple more weeks before the Winter Olympics. And folks, I'm telling you right now, if you need it, you better get it. It's gonna pop off, right? Either during or after.
It's too late.
Mm-hmm.
Because Canada is embargoing Alaska,
right?
And it's been going on now for a little over a week.
Yep,
most of our shelves are pretty
embargo.
empty. Somehow we are allowing Canada to embargo trucks. They've stopped 80% of our trucks from coming up the Alcan and supplying us.
This is madness.
And so everything's getting rerouted right now through infinitely more expensive means. And I'm just at a complete loss as to why we would allow this country to do that. It's a road that we built, and we do funnel them funds to maintain it. I understand that they do the work and they put some money in as well to maintain it, not to build it.
Well, if you need anything in the United States, it might be too late, because have you seen the pictures? Have you seen the pictures coming out of LA of the railways, the train robberies that are, dude, it is old. It is wild, wild west outside of LA right now.
It's been like that for a while, right? I mean, it's really nothing new. It's just they're hitting some of these double stackers.
This is massive compared to what it has been, though, man. This is
according to the train company, has been going on for weeks and months.
Oh well, yeah, but
So
they
they're
had
actually derailing trains from it now.
so the
To
picture that
track.
I'm about to post
Yeah,
here. Hold
show
on,
them.
let me see. Let me
Which
see
one
if I
you
can
got?
get a
You got
picture.
the one of the double stack where there's like people and ladders and standing on each other to get to the second
No, this
connect.
is aftermath stuff here. So
Just
let
the
me see if
trash
I can.
everywhere.
Yeah, just trash everywhere on the tracks here. So, oh, whoops, I did that wrong. Cancel.
Some glitching.
Yeah, cause I goofed up. Sorry.
No worries.
I am. There we go. I think that's probably gonna fix that. Hold on. Let me see here. Yeah, this is bananas, man. I'm having a hard time getting a hold of it. One of these days we
Okay.
need a Jamie. We don't have a well, we do have a Jamie, but he's just he's busy. Add to photos. There we go. All right, here it comes. I can send it over now. So I'll throw it to my. I gotta throw it to my computer, and then I can.
The
Drop it on the
logistics,
screen.
folks, of being about 1,800 miles straight line apart, and then going live is just nuts. Yeah, look at that
Yeah.
photo. That's so. Yeah,
So those are
that's
train tracks. If
derailing
you
the
can't figure
trains,
out,
which is
yeah,
causing
they're
even longer delays. Then, basically, they're taking what they want, throwing the rest away, and as people are
right,
saying, they're not even taking the boxes.
right. They're not even
The
taking the
Amazon,
boxes. I guess there's been
and
hundreds
almost
of
all of it's
thousands of
Amazon.
um, C19 tests they found because they didn't want those. But people are clamoring. I had church members calling me today, going, "Hey, do you know how I can get a hold of a home test?" And I'm like, "Man, I'm sorry. I wish I did. I don't. I don't. I'm like,
Mm.
just get better and
That's
don't need
one
a
of the
test."
other federal decisions that came out this week is that employers can no longer require COVID testing.
Correct. Correct.
Doesn't mean they're not
Uh,
going to keep doing it in places like Oregon, though.
Well, I know that I'm wearing my buddy's coffee company T-shirt because my hoodie because until I find a patch to go over all of my Carhartt equipment, I'm not. Even if you
Oh
go
yeah,
if you check out Pastor Kirk Q2 on Instagram, you'll notice last night there was a big red piece of 100-mile-an-hour tape across my chest because I was not going to advertise for Carhartt anymore. I've been
yeah.
making
I
a lot of
saw.
Instagram reels, man. I've been
Was a
making
Bear
crazy
Independent
Instagram reels.
cut the patches off. Uh, yeah, I
Cutting
mean,
patches off.
so if you don't know what we're talking about, it's all over the YouTubes, the interwebs.
Yep.
Uh, uh, Carhartt has pushed forward essentially with their vaccine mandates, despite that's what I caught.
Correct. Yeah, they,
Yeah.
they they released a statement going, all well and good what the SCOTUS has to say. We don't care. We're still maintaining that we're gonna mandate vaccine ouchie Fauci's for our employees if you want to continue
Mm-hmm.
working here. And then I saw a letter today that was posted in the Mandate Free Oregon Facebook group. They put someone had wrote a letter going, "Hey, I've been a loyal customer of yours for years. This is about I spent a couple grand there last year. I just want you to know you get no more money from me if you don't retract this." And they were like,
Yeah.
they wrote the
We don't care.
sweetest FU that I've ever seen. They were just like, "Thank you so much for your concern. We really appreciate you reaching out and letting us know. However, your opinion doesn't mean anything to us." I mean, it was really that bad. I mean, how stupid does a company have to be to go?
Stick their
I
neck
mean,
out
right
in
now,
this way,
all Duluth Trading Company has to do is keep its mouth shut. All True
right?
Work has to do
Which
is
they
keep
better
its
do
mouth
because we
shut.
all know they're kind of on the edge. They've got some wokey
Duluth
stuff
walks the
going down.
line. Duluth walks
They
the
do.
line. But I'm actually going to be. I got a coupon code. If you want a coupon code from RR Builders YouTube page, you can go to his YouTube page. I think he's got 20% off True Work gear, and the True Work gear looks awesome. I don't know if you guys have ever used any of that, but he's slinging that hardcore. I think it's got a sponsorship, of course, but I mean, it looks like some pretty tough stuff.
Well,
Considering I
that's the
want to
thing.
build a house
Carhartt
this
is such
year.
quality stuff that I see. You're having to retool.
Yeah, I'm
You need to
buying all
buy
new
stuff
clothes
that's half
anyway. I
the
mean,
size. But
I bought clothes just before Thanksgiving that I already need to replace.
right, I've got some Carhartt gear from like 2001 and 2002 that I still wear. It still fits,
Well, because it
and it's not worn out.
lasts.
So Yeah, it
It
does.
does
It's good
last.
stuff. But I
Yeah.
am gonna do, as I'm seeing others do, and I am gonna cut all the tags off. I'm
Okay.
not gonna rock their brand, but just like with
Nope.
Benchmade, I'm not throwing away their knives.
I'm not
I will
setting their
use them
stuff on fire.
yeah.
I'm
No,
not a
I
fool.
paid money for it, and I'm gonna use it. A lot of Carhartt gear
Yeah.
was issued to me by the military. I'm not gonna throw
Really?
that stuff
I
away.
didn't know they issued Carhartt gear, but I'll tell you right
Mhm.
now, I'm not sad to be carrying Fox knives though. So I'll carry a Fox knife over a
Yeah.
Benchmade. I have a nice Benchmade, sits on top of the gun safe, but
Yeah, my 2 favorite knives are Benchmade's right now, and that's fine.
well, I'm excited that you found your other Benchmade. That's really
I
exciting.
know. Well,
You
yeah, yeah.
lost your infidel for a minute, and
I
you
lost
were
my infidel
depressed.
for it got lost in my truck somewhere, and I found it. So,
That's good. It's good for you.
back to rocking the old,
I think I was there
double-sided
when you
dagger
bought
again.
that. I feel like I was there when you bought that knife.
I might have looked at it with you, but, I got this through a, government discount program. It's a
Oh,
special
did you
edition
go
for GovX.
GovX? Nice.
Mhm.
So anyway, I think let's see. I was looking at some other headlines that I wanted to touch base on here. So yeah, if you're wondering where your Amazon package is, it's probably
Might
lying on
be
the
in LA.
railroad tracks. It's probably laying on the railroad tracks. Let's see. Um, I read earlier that the NRA actually did something for gun owners this week. I don't really want to get into that because I don't really want to give them any
Best
positive
thing you
press.
could
They're
do is roll
trash.
over and die. Go
Yeah,
away.
that's exactly right. Oh, so first we left like what was it, $80 billion worth of equipment in Afghanistan, right? We left all that stuff, and then subsequently we also left American lives behind for them to be murdered and killed by
Yeah,
the
we left
Taliban.
people.
We left people, but we also left about
We can't
$80
put a
billion worth of military hardware. And we did a strategic drone strike this week, except we found out that we didn't get a
another one?
single bad guy, and we killed 10 civilians. 10. This many if
I
you want
wonder
to
if
go
they
kindergarten.
were, US citizens that, we wanted to cover up,
Didn't want to
that
get
we
ouchie
couldn't bring
Fauci?
them back.
Oh,
Yeah, who knows?
yeah, maybe so. Let's see here.
Yeah, I just saw that the general that was in charge of, the withdrawal, just got a, Bronze Star for
Really?
his performance in the
Millie?
withdrawal. No, no,
Oh,
lower down.
lower down. Okay.
I'm not gonna name names, I'm not gonna name branches, but,
Yeah. No, I got you. That
they
sounds
were the
good.
ones doing the withdrawal. And, yeah, we're just not gonna go there. We're not throwing shade at the pilots and the people, right, that
No,
actually did the stuff because they weren't the problem.
they weren't the problem. Not at all. Not in the least.
And I heard a crap ton of stories of, some pretty, um, crazy stuff going down on the airplane, so
Yeah. Oh, buddy. Yeah. Well, then I mean, there was pictures of guys hanging
there
off
was that. Yeah.
the landing gear, and that's just terrifying.
Yeah.
And so moving on
Body parts
to
made it back. Yeah.
there you go. Looks like we're closer and closer to a T-Man confirmed 2020 run.
Really?
Yeah.
What's he running for?
Prime Minister of Canada, I thought. No, T-Man. That would be the other T-Man, the one who's got an embargo on Alaska. No, looks like Trump is about to officially throw his hat in the ring for 2024.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe he'd
Presidential.
try to do some state position in a midterm or who knows.
Oh, that would have been awesome. Run for Florida. Run for Florida State Senate. That'd been amazing. And then be
Swap
a
places
senator,
with
be a
DeSantis.
senator for 9 months and then withdraw to go president again. That would be him. The hubris of that man would be him.
Yeah, I don't understand that. He doesn't. We don't need him to be president again.
We don't. I know that everybody they worship at the altar. I got it. I understand. But you know what? There's better options out there. And you know what? One of the other headlines that we could talk about is actually a person that I thought would have been a good opportunity, a good candidate for that. He got to He lost his temper and had a little meltdown this week. Dan Crenshaw, did you see that this week in
Oh,
Texas?
no.
So
What?
a young lady, one of his constituents, stood up and said, "Hey, I voted for you. I really like you." And I mean, you could tell she was a candidate, like a college kid. And she got up and she was like, "But I got a problem with how you go on, these left-leaning podcasts, and you." Basically, what he actually said was, there are hero archetypes. I mean, Jesus is a hero archetype. Superman is a hero archetype. And then there are real ones like Ronald Reagan and these other. I mean, it was like, oh, dude, it was, and so when she stood up and she was like, how come you come to Texas and you talk like a Christian, and then you go on a podcast and basically, slight Jesus as being fictional, and he just lost it, like pooped his pants in front of a bunch of cell phones and was like, "Don't question my faith. Don't question my faith. I'm not even going to answer. I'm not going to address your question because you don't get to stand in front of me and question my faith." I mean, it was. I'm being a little hyperbolic, but not much.
Wow.
And
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
I read his book, and he has some descriptions of faith in
he
there,
does. He does.
and he credits, you know, miraculous healing to himself.
Yep.
Um, I want to believe that he just misspoke. I don't know.
It was pretty blatant,
That's the
man.
thing.
I
If you
want to
can't hold
believe.
it together, you can't go on the attack because you misspoke and they called you on it. But
No, he could have just been kind to her and gone, "Gosh, you know what? I
a lot
feel
of
like
things
maybe
here.
I could have said that better, and I should have said that better."
And she
And
could have been a baiter. Who knows?
she could have been a
I,
baiter. That's true.
I don't care enough to look into it, honestly.
Yeah,
But that's really sad that he screwed up like that. That's the thing. You're on all the time when you're in those positions,
it's
and
true.
they will find your moment of weakness and have 10 cameras on you. Sucks.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think I could make it as a politician. I mean, it might be
No,
humorous to some.
it would be humorous. It would be a ton of fun. I would just cringe all the time. It's like, oh,
That'd be
I'd love
awesome,
for you to run for
right?
rep or something in Alaska,
Should
man.
go clean out Juneau.
Get
I just found out
get
that my friend Charlie Pierce, he's our mayor here for the borough. I
yeah.
didn't. I guess I should have expected it. Locally, we actually do have term limits. Our borough mayor is not allowed to serve more than 2 terms in a row. They have
Oh,
to
bummer.
take at least 1 term off. He's announced it, so he's in his 2nd term, and he's announced that he's going to run for governor here in Alaska. And I had some pretty mixed feelings about that. Good guy. He's done a lot of very good things. I'm just not sure he's ready for the
Big
governorship.
show.
Stepping into the mess in Juneau is just a whole new level of swamp. So,
I thought you had a decent governor. Did you know?
he's okay. He's better than sometimes. He
Better
has been
than
completely unable to control the liberals.
better
We
than
just
the
have
Queen
a
of the Sea Lions that we have?
oh yeah, oh yeah. Well, that's not hard to do. Um,
No.
I saw
No.
a dead dog a while back, and they probably would have done a better job.
It's true.
And looks similar.
It's true. Nope, absolutely. And it looks like Oregon's next governor is going to be just as bad or worse. And horrifyingly enough, I found out she grew up in my church. She was a kid in this church growing up, and
In Colorado, or you mean
no, in
where
this
you are right now?
church
Got
that
you in
I'm
the
in right
building.
now.
Better
You know,
cleanse that building.
right? And I guess she grew up. She had a
There's
pretty
some
hard
prunes
life.
going on.
And instead of growing up learning, with a pretty hard life, learning how to, work hard and fight for what she needs, she grew up a leftist and, believes in the welfare state and, like turning criminals out of jail. And, because we don't want to be mean to criminals. They'll uncriminalize themselves if we're just really, really nice to them. Didn't you know that?
Right.
That's how
Usually how it goes.
works. Uh-huh.
Yep.
Jesus Chicken, not a sponsor.
Oh,
But
jealousy.
the lemonade is so good, I'm willing to drink it the next day. That was in my truck, leftover lemonade from yesterday.
Man,
How long has it been since you've had some Jesus Chicken?
like 3 years.
Dude. And considering you're not getting on an airplane anytime soon.
Anytime soon.
Speaking of airplanes, let's end our current event section on Hawaii. Have you heard any of the news coming out of Hawaii? Oh,
No, and I have
Phil.
family and friends there. What's happening in Hawaii?
You have family and friends in Hawaii currently?
Yeah.
Okay. And I assume they all have their ouchie fouchie?
Well, I think it was a requirement to get there.
It was a requirement to get there.
Yeah. So what's the deal?
So they are now arresting and jailing and talking very seriously about force vaccinating anyone who comes to Hawaii without the big V ouchie fouchie. Makes it it is the most un-American, anti-freedom bunch of crap that I have ever seen come out of America. They are forcibly they will either arrest you straight at the terminal when you get off the plane if you don't have your V card, or what they've been doing is there are people who are like testing the system to see whether it works. So they'll go to their hotel and then they'll be like, haha, made it into Hawaii without getting my V. And they will see it on social media and scoop yo butt up right out of your hotel room and take you to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200 to jail. And you'll sit in jail until your plane ticket. So if you're planning on being there for a month, you get a month in jail if you can't reschedule your plane ticket. And they're basically operating as a foreign country, and they can expel people and deport people. And yeah, I think we should send any
state rights to that extent. I have to say, this is really nothing. This is not
not for that reason.
Unexpected from Hawaii.
Yeah.
I just the way I would go with that is if they can do that, in my opinion, it opens the door for all sorts of other things.
Oh, absolutely.
If you can force some sort of experimental drug on someone without their consent, then it just brings into play issues of abortion and other procedures and
100%.
I don't know. I think each one of our states should carve out what we want to be, and we should be a united body of states that are very independent. I don't know.
I don't disagree.
Maybe the only way we can exist moving forward.
I don't disagree with that, but I'm just saying
amnesty period to get people to move, and everybody declares what their state's going to be, and you vote with your feet.
Yep. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that, but I do think that there has to be a basic tenets of. I just don't. I think more along the lines of a great divorce where there are regional, larger United, smaller United States.
Sure.
I don't see how. Personally, I think that if there was a real leader in the White House, that they would look at Hawaii and go, we're pulling all of our military protection. We're closing all of our bases. If you want to be anti-American, you get to be anti-American, and China's going to scoop you up in a hot 5 minutes. Have a great life. Bye. See you later.
Okay. But to be fair, we're not there to protect the Hawaiians.
No, we're not.
We never have been. We're there as a military to protect ourselves. And the last thing that we can afford to do is let China take over Hawaii.
We got Guam. We've got Guam.
Guam's not very big.
Guam doesn't need to be very big. Except for I realize there is some danger of the island flipping over if we put too many troops on it.
Okay, you flat earther.
No, dude. Did you see that? Did you see that senator like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
He was like, they were talking about upping the number of troops and expanding the base in Guam. And he was like, but isn't there a danger? I mean, seriously, dead serious, stone-faced. On the floor of the Senate, he's like, I'm really afraid for Guam because the island might tip over. It's like, bro, you don't understand how islands work,
I can't remember.
Like,
Was he from Puerto Rico or something like that? Or
no, he was a white dude from like Virginia.
he was a
It was.
Democrat. I remember that.
Oh yeah,
I thought he
now I
was
got to
from
look
a
it up.
very Democrat state, but I can't remember
Yes,
anymore.
very blue, very very blue.
That's all I remember about it. I actually thought it was a female, but
Nope, it was a gal.
I'm sure you're right. We need to roll in and start. We're way late on getting the podcast going. What time is it?
Tipping over. It
Yeah.
is 6:35. Yeah, we started late though too. So Hank Johnson. Where's Hank Johnson? Guam will
Probably still serving.
capsize. Hank Johnson, Democrat of Georgia.
Georgia. Okay.
Oh man, go Bulldogs.
May as well be Mississippi.
All right, man. All right, we're gonna go. We're gonna jump into our main session now. I'm gonna fire up my camera. So when you come back from video, I might not be sitting here for about 2 seconds.
Short break.
So we're gonna
Look for the next live feed. Yeah.
here we go. Oh no. We'll stay live on this one, but we'll just run the audio. So here we go. Okay, I just realized that I had to actually hit the button to come back. So I'm coming. You talk for a second. Say hi to the people. Hi, Internet Land.
Hey, welcome to the Prep Pastors Podcast. I was just jumping into the bunker, checking in on the green room, see how the chat's going there. If you're a Patreon member, which is the only way to get into the bunker right now, I'm in the chat. So, if you want some input in the live feed, we'll be watching that as we go. I'm also in the live chat on the YouTube stream. I think the real Kirk is going to be doing the Facebook deal. I'm off of Facebook right now. I catch a 30-day about every 2 or 3 days. So it is what it is. Facebook hates freedom and they hate America. So on that note, let's see. We are in What's Left of My World, and we're finishing up book 3. I don't think we're getting into book 4 today. We're finishing book 3. I've been reading some different series, checking out the what's going to be happening in the series to come. What are you giving me, a close-up?
Yeah, man, you got a close-up. Just a second. I'll fix it.
So the current engineering, we were talking a little bit in the pre-show, if you missed it, the complexities of handling this show as a live stream from 16 to 1,800 miles away. It's actually like, if you were to drive it, which you can't right now because Canada's illegally embargoing Alaska. If you were to drive it, we're actually about 2,700 miles by roadway apart. But soon, hopefully, it's going to be but a short laser shot from Elon Musk's satellite. Let's hope.
Yeah, that's going to be really, really nice, I think.
I paid my deposit. I gave Mr. Musk $100 well over a year ago.
I thought it was a $500
that's the deposit. It's $100 for a deposit. And who knows? The price will probably keep going up. Currently, it's $500 to buy the equipment, which they'll take you got a green. No, you can't have anything green.
It's never responded to the water bottle before. It's always just the water bottle's just like slightly different greens. It's fun.
Well, your lighting's a little bit better, so you've got a hair light coming straight.
That's what it is. I've got better lighting, so it lit it up right. That's exactly right. But the Thunder Ranch logo looks sick like that, though.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah. I'm not going to mention the name brand of my lighting. I'm having to throw a lot of yellow around here to fix my expensive $400 light that won't come off of the 5600K.
Right. I'm surprised if the water bottle is popping the green screen that my hat isn't popping.
Is there more green in your hat?
I guess. Yeah. I mean, it's multicam, so you'd think that there's some.
My green screen chroma screen controller I use is OBS, and it's actually very good.
Yeah, your green screen always looks just a little sharper than mine, man. Like I like yours a lot.
My actual green screen behind me is horribly wrinkled, and I really don't even have a dedicated light on it. So
mine too.
Just
Yeah, mine too.
OBS works really well.
So yeah, all that being said, everybody, you just got to have we just having our little briefing here about how our technology runs, and I mean, so like you can see, like if you wanna see behind the literally behind the curtain here, so
Oh, I
like
can do that.
that's what life looks like for me.
Is that you? Here we
Yeah,
go.
so there you go. Yeah, so there's that. You got the two cameras going right now. You got the little bigger, better studio now. So we're gonna jump into to book 2 here. I'm sorry, we're gonna finish book 3. We're finishing book 3, and then we're gonna get rowdy next week in book 4. So I gotta be careful to not do too many spoiler alerts in this series, because it's hard to differentiate between
There's a whole lot of building up to book 4.
right. Correct.
There's been a lot of like side and flashbacks and just story building and getting things ready
Correct.
to run.
Yes.
And it's a lot of fun when Lauren runs.
Oh yeah, man. Oh,
she takes that field of fire quite well. And when she does it with people that she trained with, that gets exciting.
It gets exciting. So you get all the backstory, all the things. Yeah, all the things you've been wondering about, all the stuff that you've been wishing you understood or knew about. Yep, it all comes together in book 4, and you get to see them start doing some throwing down. They get off the defense and go hard on the offense. And you've been rooting for them for a while. And it's gonna pay off. You've been rooting for them. It's good. So
yeah. So where we left off last week, I think they were just getting ready to head out to look for the dock, right? Is that where we left off?
Correct. Yeah, they were. One group was looking for a dock, and one group was going to find the naturopath plant healer person. We talked quite a bit about her and the importance of knowing someone like her.
Oh, right. Back up to close by, Michelle,
Correct.
right? Lauren's mom had started to build a relationship with this woman and all her daughters. And so, yeah, that becomes a big part of the book, the back and forth, the two different, and not much happens, I think, back at base, right? Back in Trout Run.
Right. Not much happens.
Well,
I mean, other than there are people that are devolving as far as sickness goes, and
but that's the thing, that the necessity, those who are still not sick yet go.
Correct.
And there's only 1 or 2 people left that are not sick.
Correct.
Which is key, which is what we find out. I think this book turns over, right? Help me out if I'm throwing it, then I'm throwing at the beginning of the next book. But I think, yeah, just in case, essentially they leave their back door wide open and unprotected. And
the feds they for the most part completely handle the takers. They for most part completely handle the biker gang, and now they are stepping firmly and quickly into the Fed stuff. Now, I think the end of book 3, we find we get to spend a little bit more time with Grandma, right? In the FEMA camp, and she's now taken up the chaplain. She's taken up the chaplain position.
She's taken the fight from within. She's preaching a real message. She's speaking the word of God. Right. She's converting.
She's winning. She's winning people that were her enemy in the beginning, that were sent to enforce on her, kind of like in the farm. I think book 3, Scorpia, the character Scorpia, who ends up being an ally. She gets welcomed into the family eventually, after Angel whoops some ass, right? And
it's like the exact same thing.
Yeah, except for of course, Grandma doesn't get to whoop anybody's butt. She whoops her with like love and care and the gospel, and wins that character over. I can't remember the name of the character from this series, but basically, when wins her over. She becomes kind of an assistant chaplain, takes over the chaplaincy. I think somebody disappears or makes go away the FEMA chaplain, who I think
Yeah.
we're in agreement. We've talked before. We think that the FEMA chaplain was probably a mostly good dude, probably just theologically squishy and not definitely not like super rooted, but
I think
he
we
was just
decided that he probably came from Civil Air Patrol.
Sorry everybody, the inside jokes that the real Phil and I have, we don't have time to explain that, but
Let's just hope it stays inside, or I might be losing a license.
I doubt it.
No,
Man,
I don't care.
if I could lose a license
Bring it.
just from picking on people,
Bring
man,
it.
it'd be done. I actually talked to one of my upper levels this last week, and I just pointed out in the conversation, it's like, look, bro, I'm super snarky, so if we've got a problem, let me know now. And he's like, no, man, I can handle snarky. You can be snarky if you want. I was like, all right. So he took it well. But he also dodged some pretty hard questions, but that's all right. So anyway, so we've got this situation, and then I think that the end of book 3, we find Grandma is back in jail, right? She's back in lockdown. The women's facility person helps her get in to visit her husband, who's in detention, and I think we get to find out how that visit went in book 4, but in the end of book 3, we find
I'm in the
Grandma's
middle
locked
of
up.
No, in 3 is when they pull her into the office and let her watch the feed of her husband dying at the hand of the new prison lady. That's in 3.
That's at the end. That's at the end of 3.
It's at the end of 3. It's kind of the last we
Okay.
see of Grandma. Is they essentially show a live video, or it's not live. It's a video to her of her husband being waterboarded, and oops, they screwed up and accidentally drowned him.
Right.
On accident, as they then raise their hoods and laugh at her.
Yeah. Exactly.
And what she
Because it
finds out is
was
that she was preaching as he was dying,
right.
and the woman who killed him, her husband, is the new prison lady who took over for the previous nice prison lady who they put to death. And
no, I think at the end of book 3, she's dying. She's in the Connex container, half starved and dehydrated, and
bad things are happening.
Bad things are happening to her because they wanted to make it a very important lesson to learn.
Example, right?
Do not cross, even in a little bit, the authority, and it's really important, that's exactly how government operates, man. When they draw the hard line, that's where the hard line is, and they will disappear you. Ask Mr. Epstein. Right?
Yeah, or Ray Epps. You can just get himself disappeared. But yeah, if you work for them undercover, you can commit all kinds of crimes, and then they'll just kind of erase you from those crimes.
That's exactly right. You get retired. I think Boyd's book talks about that. The bad CIA guy at the end of book 3 of the behind the curve is, he's talking about how I getting retired in my industry means I get murdered somewhere when I try to go to a beach.
Yeah.
So
anyway, this book 3 is all over the place, and it's because
it is
4. We just have to be good and angry as we erupt into 4.
Yes,
exactly and we're there. Right. It doesn't take much for me to get good and angry at FEMA camps and beating up on grandmas and
beating up on teenage girls, because I think at the end of book 3 we find Lauren is in lockdown, right? She's in prison.
Yeah. So what happens is this team that's out there looking for the docs, they walk into an ambush from some local raiders, and we don't know how much they are or aren't supported by the FEMA. I think we don't know.
Yeah, I don't think we get that far into them.
But they are escaped prisoners,
right?
Which is where at the very beginning of this book starts off with a pre-fall glimpse with Lauren and her father as they're talking about prisons, and even before that, there was the installation of the new system in the max security prison, which is has fail safes that fail in the wrong direction, releasing everybody, because that's the new liberalism, is the kindler, gentler can't
Correct.
be hard on criminals. We have to allow them to continue to rape and murder people because we can't be mean to them.
Right. Right.
So
Exactly right. But we can be really mean, toxic, and horrible to like a college professor that doesn't want to play the game. Doesn't
or
want to.
concerned mother who finds out that her daughter's being taught transgenderism in kindergarten and raises her
Right.
voice at school board,
Right.
and now is
That's a
getting
domestic terrorist.
profiled
That's a domestic
by the FBI.
terrorist.
Right, right.
Or
But
a
the FBI does not call the actual terrorist holding a rabbi hostage. That's not actually terrorism.
I know. I thought they did finally actually call it that.
A couple days later, they admitted after they shot him.
A couple of days later.
They're claiming they shot him, and a whole lot of other people were claiming he shot himself. The FBI
Right.
claims they shot him.
Exactly.
If anybody at the FBI knew how to still tell truth, I might believe them, and I would want them to have shot him. But
Oh,
we
absolutely.
can't believe a word any of them say. So
Yeah, exactly right. So,
I'm not sure very many of them even know how to shoot that well.
hey, I'm going to take a
I think the
quick
rabbi
call
might have
here.
shot
I
him.
apologize.
The rabbi might have shot him. Who knows? I heard the rabbi ran out the back door. So it turns out I read today that the rabbi actually had some training and had practiced what to do in the event of something like this happening. I certainly knew that he was never going to be
That was
protected
a
by
dang
law
survey.
enforcement. So you took a
Dang
survey
survey.
call in the middle of a live stream?
Well,
You gotta get a different phone for
it
your
was from
chaplain phone.
it was from OHSU, the hospital, and so we've got a baby in intensive
family.
care. We've got all kinds. So I was like, I'm just going to take this because we've got person in our congregation that's got a baby in NICU. So
Survey should not be able to use OHSU's caller ID.
Exactly, I agree. So anyway, I apologize for dashing out. I was got to do my pastoral duties there.
What happens in the live stream? I say I just got a text from my chief, but I'm not ignoring you, Chief. I swear. I sort of saw that you texted me. It didn't look like an emergency.
Can we pause because I forgot to mention this in the current events status?
What?
I'm very excited. I got 2 brand new polos with my star on it and 242. I got a radio number, baby.
You just gave it out?
Yeah, it's public. It's public. It's public, dude. What are you gonna do? Yeah, most people don't know where I live, but second of all, I mean, say it over the broad. We don't have truncated encrypted radios here.
Oh,
so.
you don't?
No.
Oh, okay.
So they're gonna every time I get in the car, they're gonna be like, oh, 242's on shift.
Yeah.
But those of you who don't know, it's a big deal when you become a chaplain, and I've been in the community that I'm in for a little over 4 years. It took me 3 years to get my foot in the door with this particular sheriff's department, and took me a year of hosting trainings and running some stuff and building relationships before they trusted me enough to give me a radio number. That's a big deal. And then of course for the same day,
an ID with a badge,
which evidently I think is coming. That's what I was told. So hopefully,
when we say badge, chaplains are almost never sworn. Some are.
Right. I'm hoping that that's coming down the road. Yeah, we're hoping for that because originally that was going to happen, and then not so much. And I keep reminding them, like, I'm happy to qualify and outshoot your deputies.
I'm not going to throw that out there, even if we can. Yeah, just because it's happened before. But yeah, you never.
It has happened before. I outshot all but one of the deputies in Lake County.
I don't think I'm shooting enough these days. But
and now that I don't weigh 450, it's gonna be a whole lot easier to do that kneeling section. The kneeling section was always the part that got me screwed up.
I don't kneel in the range without knee pads anymore.
Well, I will wear knee pads. I will wear knee pads that day. But
yeah.
Anyway. Oh, hey, by the way, just throwing it out there. Speaking of knee pads, if you need equipment right now, if you need plate carriers are $100 right now, $99 at 511. So they are big, gigantic sale right now.
Really?
I know you should call them. I was gonna mention that tonight because you should be like, hey, I just bought this. I guess I could return it or you could credit me.
Yeah,
because that's got to be like what 30 or $40 off from what you paid?
Mine is about 50 maybe.
I was
don't know,
thinking about buying
60.
2. I bought one yesterday and I was like, I think it'd be real nice to have the camo one as well.
I have been tempted to. I have 2 complete setups for myself,
Yeah.
and we have others.
Yeah.
This is kind of getting outside of the bunker, but
Yeah.
yeah. If you don't have a plate carrier, you really should get one.
And we're not too far off the book because Lauren does acquire a plate carrier and she originally she doesn't run it, and then she has a pretty close call and she watches her friend Christian get thumped in the plate carrier for the second time. Again. That dude's a bullet sponge, man. That guy's a bullet sponge. Yeah, and so she starts wearing her plate carrier.
And it's a pain. If you have never put one on, it does restrict your movement a little bit. It changes your dynamic of tactics change a bit and your stance and how you negotiate obstacles.
Yeah. Because
It's
before
like putting a
you
drop
have a
in
plate
bolt shot,
carrier, you
start running
stand
into
sort of
walls and-
sideways.
Yeah,
And when you get a
tactically you
carrier-
stand straight on when you have a
You
plate
stand-
carrier because you want to give your
Right.
plates the best opportunity to cover your important parts.
Right.
And they don't you don't want them deflecting if you can help it, but
No, you really don't.
Yeah.
So so I think book 3 is really where the series revs up. I got to tell you, they've developed all the characters. They've made it so that that you're emotionally invested in everybody.
Right.
I don't want to get too far in. Is Lauren's sister in a family way in book 3, or is that book 4?
That's a good question. I want to say I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
3 and 4
like she's
sort of
feel
bleed
like she's
together.
pregnant.
Both of
I feel
us
like she's
rolled straight through it.
I feel like she's pregnant and sick. She's like dying, and they were like really worried about losing the baby. I think I don't know, but she does end up getting she does end up pregnant. Either book 3 or book 4. We'll talk about it next week.
Knocked her up before marriage, so
Christian knocked her up. It's the end of the world.
As a pastor, I frown upon that. I mean, it's the end of the world, but at least jump over a broomstick or something.
Do you walk around a table like Full House or something? I don't know. I don't know. Remember when DJ married I think her cousin from, I don't know, anyway.
That sounds like a West Virginia thing.
Was it like an Italian? It was like a Sicilian
Or for Oregonians, we say Scotts Mills.
That's awesome. So yeah, if you guys are not reading this series or haven't read the series, I highly recommend you jump in. They go really fast, especially if you're an audiobook person. You can crank through these books. One good road trip, you could probably knock out
yet.
They're not. I don't believe they are. And I think we should probably make some commitments that we won't do another series that's not available as a box set. But I
don't know. These authors, they're worth it.
They're trying to make money. They got it. Yeah, you know what? I understand.
Makes them like nothing. It just hooks them into the author. So
correct.
We like these authors, and we know at least one personally. And
did you see our best buddy? Did you see that he lost his mind this week? Did you see that he lost his mind? He did the unprepper thing. Drove all the way to Florida and went to Disney World.
Yeah, we don't want to throw too much detail out what he's up to, but yeah,
it's pretty public at this point. He's got a Facebook page.
Yes, yeah. Are they public posts? I don't know.
Yeah, they're public posts.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the
all right. Well,
favorite. He posted a video of the the Hogwarts Glee Club the other day. That was pretty fun.
Well, he's not in California, so I don't have a problem with that. And honestly, if you're gonna go to a state, that's a pretty free state to be in. It's actually
go to Florida.
The one he came from. So
that's why I'm talking to I've got all these friends that went to Mexico these last couple of weeks. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I love you so much, and you're dumb as a bag of sandwiches. Go to the Keys. If you need something tropical, Florida doesn't take away your guns. Florida doesn't keep you from coming back to your home if you end up testing positive while you're on vacation. Like the Keys are beautiful, man. If you need something tropical and islandy, go to the Keys.
I'm just refused to fly on an airline. That's a
Yeah,
6,000-mile
100%.
drive for me. So, oh, and
Yep,
Canada's
absolutely.
embargoing us, so I can't travel through Canada. Although I'd like to see them stop me if I wanted to.
Oh, buddy.
I feel like Alaska's going to have to start standing up to Canada. We can't
100%.
keep them, our supply chains, our everything.
Correct.
They are a weak, pitiful, useless nation of yellow bellies, and they have outlawed Christianity. So
Oh, yeah.
there's that this week.
Yeah.
It is against the law for a pastor from the pulpit or in any public fashion to say that transgenderism or homosexuality is a sin. That is now
Right.
illegal in Canada.
Correct.
There's no
Correct.
freedom of religion there.
Well, they don't have
Not
freedom
that
of speech. They don't have freedom of. They
you have
haven't
the
had freedom of
speech now.
speech.
Yeah, now you cannot practice your religion, but they've been doing that for quite a while.
Correct.
There are pastors in jail in Canada. And there are now getting to be a growing number of Canadian pastors who have fled the country and are refugees here
Yes.
in
Yes.
the States. So
Absolutely.
I, for a while, have refused to buy anything from Canada, but the reality is they don't really produce anything as a nation because all they do is sponge off of us.
I can buy my
So
maple syrup out of Vermont. I'm good.
yeah, I don't buy anything Canadian.
Okay. Name one thing that Canada produces that's better than any place else besides milk in a bag. And
Cowards.
there's that. They got some really badass Canadians, but they just don't stand up for themselves. But production wise, I mean, lumber. I mean, they do a darn good job of destroying the American lumber economy. So
They
or we
produce a lot of
destroy.
lumber.
What else?
They extract a ton of oil, more oil than we do.
That's true. And they actually grew a spine for 5 whole minutes and stood up to the Biden. I think there's still a major lawsuit happening over the pipeline issue with
Yeah, they're
Canada.
suing because I mean we were way in and invested when they canceled.
Contracts signed, investments made. They
But
didn't
what
really. We
pisses
didn't
me
have
off, that was our oil. That was
right,
just to take Alaskan oil down there.
but they had access and they were going to be able to get some of that oil. They had negotiate taps
Not
along
that
the
they
way.
needed. I mean, what people don't realize, the entire northern slopes of basically essentially the north slope of Alaska, Canada has tons of that. And
Correct.
they're extracting oil. They've been extracting oil. They're not going to stop extracting oil. They've been pulling oil out for a long time, and they actually do damage the environment pretty badly in how
Right.
they do it. And they decimate the indigenous peoples. I don't understand where the high and mighty Canadians get off playing their environmentalist games. I don't know.
Correct. Correct. I
They're
don't
nearly
understand
as
it either.
bad as Russia. They just, some of them speak an Americanized English.
Right.
Whatever.
And
Canada sucks. We should invade them.
we should take all their bunch of dirty snowbacks coming across the
I don't think we'd
borders,
even have
taking our
to bring
good acting
weapons.
jobs,
I don't think we'd have to fire a single shot.
taking our good acting jobs.
Well, they essentially become American though. Sam, the cooking guy, became an American, and he's just a personality. I mean,
Dude, I
let's
like
face it,
Sam
his
the
food
cooking
is.
guy. He's
Not a Michelin chef. He's a people's chef.
He's a
He's
people's
very
chef.
approachable.
If I ever found myself in the communist state of California,
Never happened.
in Southern California, I would absolutely stop by Not Tacos and try out his food for sure.
I would never spend a penny there, even if I got taken there by force. He gets my YouTube watch. That's all I can do for him.
Well, because he rocks the spectacular recipes.
Yeah.
And if you want to get back to prepping and Sam the cooking guy, that grill that the welding channel built for him, we should
Yeah.
all have one of those things, man. That you could cook for a community on that sucker.
Well, which one are we talking about? He's got like 4 of them plus a big green egg too.
The one
The
the one with the big wheel that you can
that
raise and
lowers up and
lower.
down. Okay.
The
What
Santa
style?
Maria style
You're right.
grill.
That's what it is called. Santa Barbara, isn't it? Is it
No,
Santa
Santa Maria.
Barbara or Santa? Okay.
Santa Maria.
Well,
Yeah.
I believe you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that grill is the jam, man. I cooked on one very similar to it, not nearly as nicely made, multiple
different.
times down in Southern Oregon, and it is rad. It's a
Yeah.
grill. It's not a barbecue. I'm from the South, so I do barbecue, which is low and slow.
Right. More of the
Kill
smoker
all
style
below. No,
than
wait,
the
that's the Air Force. But
oh,
so anyway, so but no, the low and slow, locked up, closed down. The Santa Maria style grill is a big grate that you control by raising the grate higher and lower. And I will tell you that it is a wonderful way to cook a lot of meat quickly. So if you're just
yeah.
doing, thinly sliced tri-tips that you don't need them, it doesn't need to be tender because you're going to slice it properly and you're going to slice it thinly. You can make some rad sandwiches. You can cook like 20 of them at once on that grill, and so it's the jam. You can cook some really amazing ribs as long as you're not trying to do the low and slow style. But it's a heck of a prepper grill because it's a wood fire grill and, it's easy to load material in and out of and those kinds of things. If you're in a community with a big mag around you that you have to cook for, you could do a whole deer on the thing. You could do a whole pig on it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so we were sitting here pooping on California and Canada Stan.
Kanakistan.
Yeah, they're bananas, man. They have completely turned their backs on freedom. Hey, speaking of freedom in not free countries, did you see? And this goes back to current events. That this one I should have led with this one. Did you see that England dropped all mandates and restrictions for the C word?
Yeah.
No more mask mandates. No more.
Well, they're actually admitting what do they call their level? The federal
endemic.
I don't know what their level.
Oh yeah, parliamentary.
Whatever their level of government. The prime minister has admitted that they believe that they made a mistake in forcing children to wear masks.
Yeah.
Not only do they not work, but they have now seen massive problems psychiatrically and medically from the required wear of masks.
Yeah.
Which is why we still continue to say putting a mask on your child and sending them to school is child abuse. Any parent that has such a mental illness that they would force or go along with such a thing, I actually support your children being taken away from you.
I don't think I go quite that far, but
I think it's that much of a.
I think it's
mental
foolish.
Illness. It proves that you have zero, love for your child.
I definitely
idiocy.
I think that I don't think that foolishness removes love. I think that foolishness can just be foolish. I think that a person who has bought a deception, who has been fed a lie, and they've bought a deception, exhibits foolishness. I don't think it removes their love for a child. I think a lot of people do very loving things while consumed by foolishness.
Way to say this.
There's
I don't disagree with anything you said.
Yeah, so I think that you can be very, very loving and very, very foolish at the same time. Yeah, man. As we begin to wrap up book 3 here, I mean, what's the big takeaway for what are the things that we need to, as far as looking at the thought experiment of book 3? What are the big takeaways for you
as a prepping community, as a person who is worried about the basics of where food, water, and shelter is coming from in all situations, good and bad? The biggest takeaways I get from this book are One, protect your water source. Implement some testing. So when bad things start going down in the world, to just blindly continue to drink water without testing it is really stupid.
Yep.
On top of that, they, we don't know what exactly, what the poison is or whatever, or how it could be detected. But the point is, you should have um, a source of water that is protected and available to you.
Correct.
In addition, the security thing. So obviously, there'd be no drama if they didn't abandon everything to go and seek out help.
Right.
But it ends up causing a huge problem, uh, and people die. So
Right.
you don't leave your home base unsecure.
You don't.
You
You don't leave your
you
home
don't
base unsecure.
assume naively that people are not watching and waiting for you to send your best defense force out the front gate. Um,
I think for me, and I think for a lot of people, the big takeaway from book 3, and I think we look, if you're listening to the Prepped Pastors podcast right now, you've got some level of recognition that things are not going well in the world, those kinds of things. But I think the big walk away for me is do not ever at any level trust the federal government to care for you. No one is coming to your
sure.
rescue. Don't
Yeah.
get on the bus. Don't stand in the bread line. Do whatever you have to do to
It's
provide for
easier to
your
come out of your
family.
front door with 5 or 6 against you than it is from within the walls once you've been stripped of everything.
Now, if you're watching this and you think we're crazy, you're just watching this for the entertainment value. You got two like pastors that are like annoyed and
Camps
all
exist,
that,
they've been made.
all that stuff. Then and you don't have firearms in your home to defend your family. You don't want to put away a year or more of food so that your kids can be provided for. By all means, go to the camps. By all means, go to the camps, but just be ready to completely submit to every single rule, to not have a single say, to walk away from a democratic system, to walk away from freedom of speech. Don't think you'll be able to say what you need to say. Don't think for 1 second that you can go into that camp and play Karen. They will disappear you. You will get taken to a Connex container, and no one will ever hear
Be
from you
ready to
again.
accept the mark.
Be ready to accept the mark. We read all that stuff,
Or it's
all
gonna
that
go down.
stuff. So I just think that in that scenario, like you have to make a plan to not be on the bus, to not be in the line. Okay. And I think that that's all we really have been talking about. And now I think that there's some stuff, I think we saw at the beginning of, the end of book 2, the beginning of book 3, how important comms are. I talked about that. I think that I bring my new radios in last week, for
I
the
think you showed
gear.
them on the public segment, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I've got, a gear challenge for the bunker that I brought along with me tonight. Super simple, lightweight. But we'll talk about it privately in the bunker because I don't want to be accused of giving medical advice. So we're just gonna if you want to hear about that, then you need to join Patreon and you need to hang out with us in the bunker. And I think like $3.99 or $3 or some silliness gets you behind the pay curtain, and you can hang out with us in our Discord.
$2.95 a month. And you get to
$2.95 a
try it
month.
for a whole month free.
There you go. That's exactly right. So you wanted to come in and listen along tonight? You could absolutely do that. Not very many people take us up on our Discord scenario, and we're doing a really bad job of
I just got noticed
posting.
from the one of ours that likes to be in there. He's not gonna be able to make it today. So
Oh, bummer. Okay. So I think that what we really need, we need to talk a little bit about. I'll just say this. This is my sample. I'll show it. I'll tell a little bit now. I'll show it. Stock up on your vitamins. If you've got vitamin needs, you want to make sure that you got enough to last you for a good long time. Like for myself, I just had bariatric surgery. I'm on the road to 150, dropping 150 pounds. I want some suggestions from our prepping community. How should I celebrate when I hit 150 pounds down? What should I do? I want some suggestions. And when I break out of the 300s, which I have not been out of the 300s in 25 years, so or more, maybe 30 years, and yeah, I think you should give me some suggestions on how I should celebrate something, do something cool, like a big prep to work toward or something like that. Some kind of like reward. I need, Pat says, if I'm crazy, if you're crazy, I must be too. Pat says, thanks, Pat. Appreciate you, buddy. So I'm just going to say you have to get your vitamins in place. And I'll show you how I did that in the bunker today if you guys want to talk about that. So,
Yeah, no,
but
vitamins are important in a stressful environment where we can't go to the store and get fresh food and all the things.
right.
How many people know that, during off seasons, historically, before supply chains and airplanes and all these things that brought us fresh food all the time, people got scurvy and there was all sorts of illnesses that come from not getting the right kinds of vitamins year round.
Correct.
Because vitamin C, right? Unless you know what you're looking for or where to get it. Again, this comes down to the local knowledge and knowing how to survive in your own area.
Yeah.
Because vitamin C, for me, grows in lots of places around here.
Sure. Right.
But you got to get used to eating moss and pine needles.
Pine needles. Yeah. Pine needles is a big place to get it.
People put them in beer, so that's my plan. I'm just gonna suck it up.
You're just gonna brew beer, and that's a good way to do it. The other thing, you can make pine needle tea, right? That's
I would do it. Soups. Actually,
sure.
kind of like rosemary. Pine needles go really good with beef. So
right. Spruce pine needles taste dramatically better than, like, say, ponderosa pine needles.
Yeah, I don't have ponderosa up here.
Yeah, you got no pondos up there. You don't know how to grow a big tree up there.
Not in the area of Alaska I'm in. Correct. At least not until I decide that Western Canada is also Alaska.
So while I have access to my supercomputer, right? So while I have access to, I'm just looking for alternative sources.
So vitamin D is huge, right?
Yep. Vitamin D is huge. Magnesium. Keep your gut
iodine.
going. Yep.
Where's your natural source of iodine? If you don't live near the ocean,
right? Got to find some iodine, man. So I mean, if you're prepping and you're stockpiling salt, a large portion of your salt is probably going to be iodized salt.
Should be iodized.
Fun fact: I didn't even know this was a thing. I didn't even know that salt had a shelf life. But iodized salt actually lasts longer or lasts shorter. It's the least. Right. It's been diminished by the iodine. Okay, but here's a great thing. You can iodine itself, liquid iodine itself, is very shelf stable for a good long time. So you could, that kind of thing.
If you're on a well, your doctor may actually recommend that you give a iodine drop to your infant children as they're growing teeth.
That's right. That's exactly right. If you got thyroid problems, you could have some major iodine deficiencies, right? So it's a big deal. Oh, this is so helpful. Okay, so here you go. I Googled. I used Dr. Google Pants for alternative sources for vitamin C while I have my supercomputer here. Okay. Not helpful at all. Red peppers. Oh, thanks. Kiwi fruit. Guess what you're not going to get during SHTF?
Well, kiwi fruit. Not if you live anywhere that we live. Yeah.
You're not getting any kiwi fruit. Strawberries. You and I could probably draw strawberry. We could grow strawberries. Broccoli, the number one GMO food. It is completely man-made. It is 100% genetically modified. Broccoli does not exist in the wild, so don't expect to be able to grow broccoli from broccoli seeds. That is 100% owned and operated by Monsanto. Cantaloupe, again,
so
you can grow I could grow cantaloupe. You could probably grow cantaloupe in a greenhouse. No, You don't think so?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, it depends
Maybe.
on, how elaborate your greenhouse is, yeah.
Tomatoes, cauliflower. You and I could both grow tomatoes and cauliflower. We could make that happen.
Yes.
Again, if you had a papaya. Guess what we're not getting during SHTF, Phil? No
Yeah,
papaya.
that's right.
Brussels sprouts. We could grow some Brussels sprouts. In fact,
I haven't been able to figure out how to do that. Have
you could
you?
grow Brussels sprouts easier than you could grow cabbage, I bet. And cabbage would
Yeah,
probably grow up there.
asparagus is big for us, and cabbage is easy to grow here.
Asparagus, right. Yeah, grapefruit. You'll never see another grapefruit again after SHTF. I hate to say it. So you gotta think ahead. Like WebMD is clearly not what I was looking for, right? I mean, I'm looking for alternative sources.
And these things are available in paper books, but
yeah,
they're
paper.
specific for your area. So, the book that works for me isn't going to work for you.
Right.
And as you're relocating across the country, potentially, you're going to need a different book there. So,
Exactly
um,
right.
if it's a catch-all book that says it covers everywhere, that's not the right book.
I mean, there are some catch-all books that I would highly recommend. In fact, you know what? I should bring my prepper library next week and show it off because, like, I think that Where There Are No Doctors is a great catch-all book. Really, really good, well illustrated. Teach you how to, set a bone, deliver a baby, run stitches or sutures.
Not going to
at
go
that
well,
point.
but hopefully
It's
you
not.
have a better chance.
It's not going to go well, but you'd certainly have a better chance with that book sitting next to you. And
Yeah.
again, folks, these guys are going to turn into paperweights. Especially if China decides to turn the lights out, guys. If China decides to turn the lights out, we got to break our addiction to these. Period. And I'm addicted. I am. I love being able to have an infinite source of information at my fingertips. I think it's really, really great. I am not a book guy. I'm an audio book guy. And that's not good for me. What I mean? And
you do like I do. You listen to I listen to a ton of audiobooks, not quite as much as you, but I'm on the four a month plan and usually end up buying more. If it's good or I think it's going to be useful, I buy the paper version.
There you go. I think that's absolutely true.
I've already previewed it, and a lot of times it's cheaper because you've already bought one version on Amazon.
Right. Like I'm the one book I'm really excited to read this month, my historical book for January, because I'm trying to do a prepper book, a historical book, a theological book each month. That's my goal for January. And so my historical book this month is Special Forces of the Revolutionary War. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited about that. So like the Green Mountain boys, those guys. There's a few others. So I'm really excited about that book. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Okay.
So, what about you, man? Do you have any favorites for your prepper library?
I just rejected a call, and it might have been somebody wanting to call into the show. So I apologize if you were just trying to call me to get in on the show. We're not. We could be set up for that, but we weren't today. So, what was your question?
What's your go-to in your prepper library as far as books you've got?
Oh man, I really do hit hard on the local foods, local plant identification, and just what plants are good for what, and harvesting, because I'm not a native to the state of Alaska. I'm a transplant here, and I understand a lot of the grazing, but there's so much foods and animals and especially sea life. You're nowhere near the coast like I am. That's very edible, and it's such a local knowledge to know, because even especially if you get into the ocean, certain seaweeds can be eaten at certain times when there's certain colors, right?
Right.
And even animals, you can't eat rabbit year round.
No,
if it's in the wild.
Right.
So, that some of that knowledge that you're not going to know.
You'll be able to eat rabbit a lot longer. You'll be able to eat rabbit a lot longer than we will, because rabbits and squirrels down here get weevils, which can be very, very toxic to humans, and not to mention, the ones that get tick fever, Lyme disease, those kinds of things from all the ticks.
which
They
is
die off after the
making
first
its way to
freeze.
Alaska. But yeah, it's making its way to Alaska.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I would say some of those books. I have a couple of um, picture books. I try to get pictures if at all possible of harvesting things in Alaska, and but other than that, some of the old Army manuals are actually great resources. Just
Oh gosh, yes.
um, I'm not going to mention which ones that I've studied extensively, but there's some useful things for perimeter defense and like
Improvised
mag group.
tools.
Yeah, things that can be done and have been done and thought out and used. And we teach guerrilla fighters in other countries from these books. So
Right.
we have upset governments with them. So they're proven. A lot of it is very proven, not just tactics, but ideas and principles. And there's some
Right.
basics in there that everyone needs to understand about cleanliness and latrines and things like that. Stuff that used to be like in the you got to take away that one. There we go. What are we looking at? Special operations of the American Revolution.
I've said it wrong, so I wanted to correct myself there. So
Well, I didn't. So special operations, is it of the? What are the words in the center we couldn't read?
yeah,
The small ones.
in the special operations in the American Revolution.
Okay.
So yeah, there's that. So worth the read. It's going to be good. I'm excited about it.
Nice.
Yeah, I snatched up a used copy for like $16, so I was excited about that.
Good deal. So, but paper books. That's what we're getting back at. And if nothing else, get like ones that have that old Bible paper. They're much softer when you have to use them.
Yeah, yep. Or we could just have like a bidet. That works too.
If you can get yours to work. Mine just run off the electricity in the wall and water pressure.
Oh yeah. Well, I have plans for water pressure. In fact, I was working on that with the parental unit that hosts the bug out scenario.
Nice.
Yeah. So we were talking about a whole new well house with 2 large pressure tanks for both domiciles and then smaller pressure tanks at the houses so that they can equalize and run really, really well. And then a hand system when we change the well house and heat it, because somebody, I'm not going to say who, somebody may or may not have let the well freeze the other night.
Oh no.
Dad.
Well, there's a trick. Trickling water sometimes helps, but
trickling water. Well, they forgot to change the light bulb. There's a like 100. They keep 100-watt incandescent light bulb.
100-watt light bulb.
It's very well insulated. It's It's like a doghouse with like 10-inch walls of insulation. So it just one 100-watt light bulb will keep that thing from freezing. But what happens when you
What's
don't
the coldest
have?
You're talking about?
They were below zero. They weren't
below zero.
They were below.
Okay.
Yeah, they were below zero.
Below zero.
Mm-hmm. Happens pretty good. And then I think, so what happens there in the Midwest is it's not the night that goes below zero.
Man.
It's the 4 days at 7, and then it goes below zero at night. And so then the fact that it's in a zone where that doesn't happen very often is not a lot of people have done a good job of insulating for that, and not a lot of houses are plumbed with PEX, and so it's like
to freeze and thaw without bursting often.
Correct. Yeah, PEX has the ability to aneurysm. It's actually a term. And then it has memory, so it will go back to its normal shape without bursting. Now, if you use brass or plastic fittings on PEX, if it froze there, it could explode a fitting, for sure. But at least where that is, and it's not like a pinhole that's like, flooding your crawl space. It's going to go, and you're going to hear water running really, really fast. So PEX is pretty awesome.
That's
It
pretty
might be
good
one of the
stuff.
things that I'm buying right now.
Yeah, it's good. It certainly has been in short supply. I'm not sure what the current status is. I know last year
Right.
got up
Well,
there
I got to
like
have
over
enough
100.
to plumb. I got to have enough to plumb the plumbing part of the facility and do the concrete floors so that I can have radiant heat from the concrete.
Right.
And then I got to get the outdoor boiler because that's going to be awesome. Outdoor boiler and a wood stove inside. You got all the cool awesomeness for heat.
I've seen people put their outdoor boiler plumbed into their shop, and
Yeah.
you kind of get some of the radiant from that
Yeah.
to keep your shop above zero. But
Well, the shop and the house are all one building. I got the blueprints done this week. The first
nice.
floor,
Yeah.
all done. Maybe
Good
it's
deal. It's
something
gonna be
that later on
exciting.
in a couple of weeks I'll show the bunker.
Yeah. Well, and then the
Well,
build. I'm sure we'll be
there'll
giving
be sections that will be top secret.
some previews on the bunker. But
Yeah, yeah, they won't get to see the secrety places, but they'll the general common areas and the shop apartment. So 40 by 64 building, 20-foot walls. It's going to have an apartment on the one end, about a 1,800 square foot apartment on the one end, with a master suite, studio, and office upstairs, and then 2 bedrooms and a bathroom downstairs. So, be pretty cool.
sounds
It's
good.
not going to be my dream house, but it'll be really, really functional for a good long time. So hopefully the parental unit will begin clearing land soon. That would be awesome. So if you don't have your bug out location picked out, folks, start doing the things. I'm late. Might not get built. Might end up in the parental unit's basement. We'll see. I hope not.
Don't rule out squatting. It's harder to find you
No.
when you're squatting.
Oh, that's true. That's a good point. That is a good point.
Alaskans, not Alaskans, made a whole TV show out of it. They did that family of idiots that
Oh gosh, dude, that was so
squatting in the
painful.
forest and such.
That was
Yeah, it was
so
painful to
painful to
watch.
watch. Good gravy.
Almost everywhere they were was illegal.
I liked the Kilchers. That was a cool show. That was the what was that? The
That's a whole
Wild
different
Alaska.
deal.
A whole different deal.
Yeah, that's Jules' family. And,
Jules' family.
They live in Homer, Alaska.
And they were legit homesteaders. I mean, the guy came over from like what Sweden or something like forever ago. And
so Jules' great grandfather would be right.
There you go.
She was the 3rd or 4th generation since the
go pick up coal
patriarch.
off the beach and burn the coal that he found on the beach.
People do that. No, that's a thing here. People live off of that. But awesome. Yeah, so I mean, you can drive to all those locations. They weren't in the middle of nowhere. They aren't in the middle of nowhere.
No, but the weirdos, they were like out in like public lands and building homes in public
They were
lands.
essentially squatting in national and state forests and building houses in the middle of the forest and just living there illegally, without permits or,
Delightful.
Because there are some permits, usually not to do what they did, but you can buy a permit to, build a cabin. There's ways to do it legally.
Sure.
They just didn't bother.
Like you can get a mining claim, and even though it's not your land, the claim is yours.
On the mining claim, yeah, they will for generations.
And you have to. There's some administrational upkeep, and you got to make some improvements every year, and you got to invest a certain amount of dollars, and you got to follow the rules.
Some of these leases are a couple $100 a year.
Well, yeah. My friend's leasing down in Southern Oregon was, I mean, seriously, it was like $300 a year for like 2 or 3 really nice big mining claims. It was cool. He had a little cabin and everything. Now in Oregon, the mining claims, if it doesn't have a cabin on it already, you'll never get a permit to build a cabin. Everything has to be able to be removed. You have to be able to rehab it, completely if you ever pull your stuff off the property. But if we're talking SHTF, that stupid show was not a horrible thought experiment of like, what would you do if you had to just go find a place in the middle of nowhere and try to stake up a homestead in the middle of nowhere?
They got away with it for like 10 years, 12 years.
Well, yeah, and then they got a show. They got a TV show.
They made millions. Yeah. No, he went to jail for tax evasion, but yeah.
Did he?
Yeah.
Before or after the show? Because I read everything about that show was fictionalized based on what they had done years before that, when the children were really little. Like the show was showing them that they had gotten like Discovery Channel or somebody had like bought a piece of land that they were actually setting all that stuff up on legally, and that was all just
when they did
contrived
the
drama.
show. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Discovery didn't need that liability. Yeah.
No. Hey, speaking of Discovery Channel, they're bringing Dirty Jobs back. I'm pretty excited about that. Putting Mike Rowe
Are they
back
really?
on. They are.
Huh.
I love Dirty Jobs, and I love Mike Rowe.
I love Mike Rowe.
That guy's brilliant.
Yeah. He's been doing the circuit lately. He's been on with Tim Pool. He had a good show with Tim Pool.
Yeah.
He did. I saw him with Rogan, but I haven't seen the show yet. He was on Rogan.
Oh, I didn't know he was
like
on Rogan. I'll
Yep.
watch him on Rogan for sure.
I got to find that. And then I saw him on somebody else's show. So,
and he does a lot with. He's a Fox News contributor, so he's on Fox quite a bit.
Sure.
I don't really watch Fox.
He did a good job with Tim Pool. That can be a wild crowd of. I mean, it's basically a young frat house.
That's true.
It's just a big party house. They all live together in a big compound. They're having a good time. Been swatted twice this week.
Have they?
Twice.
Swatted, man. That's some dirty stuff right there.
Yeah. So they started showing some of the evidence of the feds. Basically, the Ray Epps was a Fed, and that the FBI was committing evidence crimes to erase him. And they started getting swatted, and they actually were attacked. They had all their servers attacked too. So that's the thing. There's good and bad in the world, and those who are on the side of evil have no problems doing illegal bad things to good people.
Speaking of servers, I did some research. You and I need to talk off camera, but just for the people out there, we've got some hope of a real functional website. Mr. Porkbelly has been working on that, and also I think we've identified a server that is pretty high level security, that is pro the things that we believe in, and affordable. Those three things are very, very important. So
don't usually go together, but yeah. Yes, we shall say. I was doing similar things for my company today.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, what's the news on that? You've been so swamped with the other company. Are you
had the big GoDaddy delete? So
you did the delete.
I took some time today to work on it because I got completely locked out of Discord, and so to get us back into the bunker, I had to reinvent some wheels.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that.
That's what happens. So I will be in the bunker.
How did you get locked out? How did you get locked out of the bunker?
My mail server was deleted off of GoDaddy. GoDaddy does not allow firearms websites or anything that goes with firearms. And my company makes holsters on video.
Yeah.
And GoDaddy does not like that.
Good.
And you won't get your money back.
You won't get your money back. Because you chose to violate community standards.
Should have known better.
Community guidelines. Well, what are the community guidelines? We just expect you to not violate them.
We're just going to make them up as we go. It's like Facebook. We're going to hire an independent people, and they're not actually going to be independent, and they're going to do whatever we tell them to do.
Yep. All opinion-based garbage. It's the beginning. Send the robots. It's the beginning.
Hey, whatever. This is a war, and I'm happy to fight it.
Exactly.
Some battles are more expensive than others.
That's exactly right. 100%. That's who we are. We're out there trying to make it. We're trying to motivate you. One day,
if we reach even 5,000 people and bring them over, it's worth it.
Yeah. If we I mean, dude, I would say if we reach 5, like
if we reach 5, okay. No,
my
5,000.
My bar is very low. My bar is very low.
We can't at least feed 5,000. That's it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So
let's we got bunker to head to. We're way off topic. This is the end of book 3.
So we normally take a
in the
little
area.
break. Let's talk about what happens now, right? So this is I think we've thoroughly wrapped up book 3, and I think that
It's
we've
done.
recognized that there's some things that we need to pay attention to. Book 4 is the most fun. Please read book 4,
It is.
because book 4, there is some mighty fun ass kicking in book 4, and there's some fairy tale stuff, right? The good guys win, blah 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 blah. But it's fun. It's fun. It's a good fun book, and you're gonna meet. I don't know if it's in book 4 or book 5. You're gonna meet the ultimate prepper, the guy who's got the bunker under the ground with the vehicles and the coolness and the hotness and all the fun toys.
It might be part
And
of 4. I think it's 5 for sure, but I don't remember
oh,
if it
okay,
starts
yeah.
4. I don't remember.
Maybe we
I know it's
meet
not.
him in 4,
Yeah, I
and
don't
then we
remember.
get to, yeah. So yeah.
And
Hey,
another
listen.
prepper community is coming. A
Oh yeah,
whole other
yeah.
prepper community.
A whole other prepper community. Very, very exciting. A little bit more paramilitary.
A
A
little more
little bit
organized.
more. Yep. Some serious badass veterans are going to show up and save the day,
A little more
like
mine.
like they do.
Mine's not so
But
much the hippie commune. It's a little more militaristic.
yep, a little bit more like it needs to be. So let me just say this: if you made it to the end if you made it to here, we're almost 2 hours deep into this situation.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for watching. Seriously, we really, really appreciate you. If you're watching the playback, we'd sure love it if you even all you just have to do is type playback into one of the comment streams, YouTube or Facebook. If you're watching us primarily on Facebook, we would really love it if you'd switch over and start watching the Friday night show on the Prep Pastors Podcast YouTube channel. All of these channels, huh?
They're all going to delete us. Yeah.
Yeah, they're all going to delete us. One day you're going to turn on your computers or your supercomputer pocket devices, and you're going to be like, hey, where'd those goofy, angry preachers go that we used to listen to on Friday nights or we catch the playback for? And they're gone, and it's coming. One day those are going to happen, and we really, really hope that by that day we've got an alternative place with an email list and a way that we can continue to stay connected. You are working on all those things. But if you've watched
Go
this
ahead
deep
and look
into the
for
show,
us on those platforms. We're on MeWe.
yeah,
We're just not paying attention to it.
right. Yeah, we're not there yet. We'll
We're on
probably end
Rumble.
up with it. We'll probably get a getter set up sometime soon.
Yeah, find us on there. Yeah. We'll work on it.
I got two more channels on the multi-streamer. We can throw out a few more broadcasts on those channels. I think it'd be great. But thanks for watching. Thanks specifically to our Patreon members. All 4 or 5 of you guys are the best. We love you so much.
Make sure your address is on there. If you have not gotten your multi-pass stickers and everything,
don't listen.
Your address is on there.
Don't listen to him. He's got my address. I haven't gotten any multi-pass stuff, so don't even put your address on there. He's never gonna mail it. But so
Blame
no.
Canada.
Anyway, we love you. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. No, we love you guys. We're super pumped when you guys watch and hang out with us. Fridays are always a lot of fun. Yeah. So Phil, thank you for being here with us, and we're gonna kick over. You are working. You can be in Discord now, correct? Is that right?
Yeah, I'm in it right now.
Oh, look at you, dude. I'm excited. All right. So everybody out in internet land, do all the things that all of the influencers say: like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you got people that are motivated about prepping and you like to hear preachers yammer on about current events and things like that.
Well, if you want to hear something else, you better make a comment about the something else.
Yeah, and if you want to hear us, if you got questions, I was really excited. I thought I was going to be bringing a big old awesome piece of equipment this week, but there's a prepper company in Newburgh, Oregon. I'm not going to throw out their name because I'm not going to shame them. I was going to go by there as I was driving by Gotham City and pick up I was going to spend $319 with them and pick up a big piece of prepper gear. And they didn't want to return my phone calls or respond to messages. I emailed, which I hate email. I Facebook messaged. I called them. I texted them. And I'm finding out that the people who have made purchases through them, they're really terrible customer service. They take months to get back to you. In fact, actually, they were like, yeah,
I
we
hope
sent
that
them
doesn't.
320 monies before Christmas, and they still haven't shipped our thing yet.
I
So,
hope that doesn't happen to me because mine went all the way to Australia, and
oh, you ordered one?
I ordered something quite different. Mine added up to an expected $6,800, so I'm saving it for the
Oof.
bunker
Oof. I think I know.
because the organ company that makes it wouldn't ship to Alaska.
Does it involve ITAR? Does it involve ITAR? Is there anything? Was there an ITAR registration?
No.
Okay, never mind then. All right.
Yeah, we're talking different things.
All right.
Mine's very much a prepper thing, but it's also very common in the overlanding community.
Now I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Hey, that's it.
Mine was
time for our bathroom
fire.
break.
Time for our potty break. We get potty and snacks, and then we go into Discord. So
Potty
if you
and
want to
snacks.
hang out with us, you got to join Patreon. Maybe we could talk Phil into throwing that link into the comment
Probably
sections
can't.
here real quick.
I have no way to grab that.
Oh, no way to grab that right now. He sent his
It
new
is
studio.
in Patreon. It's not hard to find, and the only
Yeah.
way to join it is through Patreon. So it's in the posts for Patreon
prepped,
members.
The Prepped Pastors Podcast. Here's the
Oh,
logo.
that's
Look for the logo.
Patreon, you mean?
Huh?
Oh, yeah. You have to. I get what you're saying. The Patreon link.
Yeah.
I still have no way to grab that right now. But
No.
I
If you
thought you were
search
giving away the
Patreon,
Discord link.
if you search Patreon, you can find. Yep.
We're a little hard to find because
are we?
they categorize us as pornography.
No, it's similar.
You have to be over 18 to view it, and you have to click that.
We should start it.
We get buried in the search.
Dude, that's how we do the bunker. We should start an OnlyFans. That's how we do the bunker from now on. No?
Fine, I'll take my shirt off.
Speaking of which,
are you wearing your? I got my remember
Got
everyone
your red
deployed shirt.
Remember everyone deployed.
Friday.
I don't own anything red. I need some red, man. Send me a red shirt.
A knife?
I want a red shirt. Huh?
We all bleed red on the inside.
That's true. Got a knife. I could put some red on my shirt. Here, I'm just gonna check Patreon, find out how easy it is. I'll show a picture of it. Just saw the wind report. Oh, so people are sending me messages about fishing tomorrow. Let's see. The Prepped Pastor Podcast. Does it pop? No. You cannot just search.
Yeah, we got removed from the search because we talk about firearms.
Oh, jeez.
I'd say
delightful.
It's going to take money.
But the Warrior Poet Society talks about firearms, and they're still on Patreon.
They have millions of viewers and millions of monies.
I guess that's true.
We have like 10 patrons. And we like
them.
Actually,
I am wrong. You can't find them in a searchable scenario either.
There you go. The deplatforming is continuing. What was true a week ago is not true today. It is a war, and we are fighting the war, and some of the battlegrounds are on their side.
Please join Patreon. Find us somehow.
The links are in our historical. If you're in our Facebook groups or YouTube channel,
there you go. Find us on Facebook.
There are links. They're out there.
The primary group where I post things is private, so you have to request to join. But
that's still working.
Yeah, that's still working, and that's fine. And then yeah, so there's that. So if there's a private group, you can join us there. There's a public group, you can join us there. Our Patreon links are in there. You can find us. So if you want to join us tonight, it is not impossible for you to find us. So we'll throw up those links in the social medias during the break, just to refresh them.
Open, so if you message the page, I'll be able to help anyone out.
There you go. There you go. And Discord is a pain in the tuchus, so just get ready for that. But we'll bring you in. All right, that's 2 hours. We love you guys so much. We really appreciate you watching, loving us, hanging out with us. Sweet. So, love, peace, and chicken grease. Get prepped.